Today we will do the prayers of Queen Kunti, verses 1-18 up through verse 22. So this will be part 1. Mukam karadi vachalam bhangam nagate girim yakam tamam bande Sri Gurundinatavyam Om Gyana Timarandasya Gananza Shalakaya Chakshiveditam Yena Tasamai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we will study Kunti and her life as a devotee in 5 classes, and we'll learn 5 lessons. And the first group in today's class will learn about seeing Krishna, how to see Krishna, and different names of Krishna. And the second part, we'll learn about protection and dependence on Krishna. And the third part, Krishna's mercy. And the fourth part, pleasing Krishna by Bhakti Yoga. And the fifth part, renunciation of material thing and attraction to Krishna. So Queen Kunti had an amazing family. Her sons were sons of demigods. Yudhisthira, the son of Yamraj, lord of religion. Bhima, the son of Vayu, lord of air. Arjuna, the son of Indra, the best archer. And they were all Mahatmas. In fact, it was a family of Mahatmas. It's described in verse 37. Purport that Maharaj Yudhisthira was the head of these Mahatmas, and Queen Kunti Devi was the mother of all these Mahatmas. So the lessons of Gita and all the Puranas are connected with the history of the Pandava Mahatmas. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and you can give an answer in the feed, or you can raise your hand and give an answer. How is Bhagavad Gita connected to the Pandavas? Can somebody tell me how was Gita connected to the Pandavas? Kalyani, you can answer.
Because it was spoken to Arjuna, who's one of the Pandavas.
Yes, okay, there you go. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna, and of course, not only that, it's all from Mahabharata, and they were living the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. How was Bhagavatam connected to the Pandavas? Anybody have an answer for that? Well, if you don't know, then Arjuna's son, not his son, but his grandson, Parikshit, Bhagavatam was spoken to Parikshit. So that's the connection. The next emperor after Yudhisthira was Parikshit, and Bhagavatam was spoken to him. And so Kunti Devi was an incarnation of the success potency of Krishna. I mean, in this world, in the dictionary, the definition of success is achievement, accomplishment, victory, triumph. Although in this world, success means money, fame, knowledge, beauty, nice house, bank balance, cars. But her success was that she was a devotee of Krishna. And although she was a devotee, she had to suffer so much. She even had to go to the forest with her sons, and they married Draupadi while they were living as Brahmins. So why do devotees have to suffer sometimes? Bhishma Dev says that, I can't understand how this is possible. But Prabhupada says in a purport of Bhishma Dev's verse that a housewife teaches the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. So this is, of course, understood by Indian people more. And so, yes, that means the Lord teaches the world by teaching the devotee, because we are the actual children. The devotees are the close children of Krishna. And the others in this world, they're like the in-laws of. So Krishna is teaching the in-laws by teaching the devotees, his own children, his own daughters, right? So the devotee, Srila Prabhupada says, the devotee's duty is to ungrudgingly accept tribulation from the Lord as a benediction. Okay, so we're going to, and Prabhupada was very attached to these prayers of Queen Kunti. In 1967, after he had a stroke in New York, he wanted to hear these prayers. In 1974, when he was very, very sick in Vrindavan, he asked to hear these prayers. So they're very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So we will start with the first prayer. Kunti Vacha Namashe Purusham Twadyam Ishwaram Pakite Param Alaksham Sarabhutanam Antar Bahiravastitam. Okay, translation. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You're existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. So here, Kunti is seeing Krishna in three different ways. First of all pervading, he's everywhere. She's saying, yes, you're everywhere, within, without everything. So when she says you are without everything, that means he's everywhere outside. And then also, because she was standing right in front of Krishna, but she was seeing him everywhere because she saw him also as Paramatma, because she saw Krishna go into the womb of Uttara to save Parikshit. So that was that happened just before her prayers. So she saw him as within, she saw him as without, and she saw him as Bhagavan, the Supreme Person, standing right in front of her. But although you're everywhere, you're invisible. People can't see you. So her first realization, Namashe Purusham Tvadyam, that you are the original personality of Godhead. Just like Lord Brahma says, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So she says, yes, I'm worshiping you. But she's in a better position than Lord Brahma, because not only she realized Krishna's position, she could see him standing right in front of her and interact with him as a family member. So yes, Kunti sees Krishna as a supreme person. Of course, Yashoda, she doesn't see Krishna at all like that. And she says, you try to tell Yashoda, oh, he's Ishra. She'll say, hey, Krishna's a small boy. He carries my shoes. He can't even control his hunger. He's so dependent on me. So it's a quite different realization Kunti has than Yashoda. And so Antarva here, Vastitam, in the purport it is said, Kunti affirms the Lord, this is in the middle of the purport, but you probably can't find it. The Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. He is a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally Lord Krishna's present before her, yet he entered in the womb of Uttara to save her embryo. So she was puzzled. Is he all pervading? Is he inside or is he outside? So many people today are puzzled, confused. What is the real nature of God? Some say he's all pervading. He's the light. So if he's everywhere, he can't be a person, because you can't do that. So Krishna can't. And when the Archbishop of the Church of England was asked, what is your concept of God? His answer was, oh yeah, he's a burning bush, because that's how he appeared to somebody in the Bible. Sometimes even people think they're all pervading. Radharani was thinking that before she joined the movement, well, when she was starting to come for classes, before she was thinking, yeah, I'm all pervading. But then when she realized it took an hour and a half to get to the temple, she thought, maybe I'm not so all pervading as I thought I was. So, yeah. So one time I my son, he must have been like 10 years old, 10 or 11. And he was just, he didn't put that we had a boga to offer to Krishna. And he was just offering it in the pot without putting it in front of Krishna sometimes. And I said, no, Krishna is here. We have to give it to him there. And my son said, no, he's everywhere. Don't you see him everywhere? I said, no. And so he was seeing the all-pervading aspect. In India, the impersonalists, they can't imagine how God could be a person. So they can't offer such nice personal prayers like Kunti Devi. They say the Lord is nameless, and they say you are this, you are that, but they don't know to whom they're praying. Even they say, you are my mother, you are my father. But who is your mother and father? They don't know. They don't know the name. And so when Prabhupada was in a meeting with some religious persons from different faiths, he asked them, who is God? And they couldn't answer. So Prabhupada said, well, if you don't know, why don't you accept Krishna as God? Now you don't know who is God, so I'm telling you, Krishna is God. Yes, that was Prabhupada. So Kunti begins her prayers by accepting Krishna as Ishvara, Bhagavan, Supreme Person. So Krishna, at the end of the purport, here it says that he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking curtain is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. So, yes, we should not, according to 11th canto, we should not mechanically receive the teachings of your guru. You should be thoughtful and with your intelligence realize and practice what you hear by observing the world around you. Like 24 gurus, it's described in 11th canto. The sage sees everything in the world not as objects for sense enjoyment, but they are our Shiksha gurus, instructing spiritual masters, the ocean, the earth, the mountain, the water. They are all our gurus. So now we will go to verse 19. Maya javanika shanam agyadhakshamavyam nalakshase mahadisha atanatya taravyata. Translation. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of diluting energy. You're invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So 3 reasons why we cannot see Krishna. First of all, our vision is covered by Maya, curtain of Mahamaya, Maya Javanika Chanam. Second, Krishna is Ahokshaja, he's beyond our vision, he's in the 4th dimension. And third, we are Mudha Drisha. We have the vision of Mudha, or fools. So just like nobody can recognize an actor when he's in costume, so Krishna's not recognized because our eyes are covered by Maya. He's like an actor. Sometimes a child sees his father acting and he doesn't recognize him. Actually, when Lord Chaitanya was playing the part of his energy, Lakshmi, Rukmini, Radharani, even his own mother couldn't recognize him. She thought, oh, this is Radha. She didn't recognize Lord Chaitanya. So Krishna is like that. He's covered. He's here. He's everywhere. We don't see him. He's covered. Our eyes are covered. So what is the covering made of that covers our eyes? The misconception of I and mine. I am the enjoyer and everything is mine to enjoy. So then next is he's adhokshaja. He's beyond our vision. Adha means to put down, and aksaja, your vision, your direct perception. So we cannot see him by our direct perception. So at nighttime, if you say, show me the sun, you cannot see the sun. And so we're in the darkness. So therefore we cannot see Krishna. He cannot see. We have imperfect eyes. Someone asks, show me God. No, you can't see. Prabhupada says you need to make an eye operation. You have cataracts on your eyes, so you can't see. And so I have to make operation on your eyes. So, and also, so a third reason why we cannot see Krishna is we have the vision of fools, mudhas. If you look in folio, mudha means rascal. If you look in database, the word rascal comes 3,400 times. And the word mudha or fool means 1,000 times. So Prabhupada was really after the rascals. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada was walking on Juhu Beach in Bombay with Dr. Patel. And Prabhupada would chastise him and call him a rascal or a fool. And then his friend would protest Dr. Patel, and Prabhupada would say, I'm not saying, Krishna says in Gita, if you don't surrender to me, you are muta. So we are seeing like the ignorant, the ass. One time in Los Angeles, there was one hippie who came to Prabhupada's lecture dressed in a long robe with moons and stars, and he had beautiful long hair. And he sat erect during the entire lecture and glaring at Prabhupada. And after he said, what about Buddha? Prabhupada said, what about Buddha? And then he stared right back at him. And then the man said, can you see God? And Srila Prabhupada said, no, because you are in the way. And so that's the problem. Our false ego gets in the way and we cannot see God. And so many problems. Maya's covering us with a curtain, and we're in the prison of Maya. And if we try to escape, all the sirens will go off. And then, of course, we're all fools and rascals. And then hoaxes are Krishna's beyond. So unless we're very serious to understand Krishna, very, very difficult. We have to purify our eyes. Brahma Samhita says, Premanjana Chitta Bhakti Vilochanena. Santa, those who are saintly persons who have developed love for Krishna, prema, they put that on their eyes. Then they can see. What? So what if we can't, if we don't have that prema, we can go to the temple and see the deities. When the curtain opens, Krishna is opening the curtain of his Yogamaya every day for us to see him in the temple. And if you can't go, you can go on the internet, no excuse. When I last couple of days, I couldn't see the deities, but I went for darshan on the internet and I saw them. So, yes. Okay, I'm going to ask a question of you today. What is holding us back from surrendering to Krishna and getting this prema? What is stopping us? What is the obstacle that cloud our vision? Can anybody give us a reason they think this? Olga, false ego. Okay, anybody? Yes, that's a very good answer. False ego is connecting us, body and soul together. Anybody else has another answer? There are many answers to this
The
question.
anarthas.
Fear. Okay, and that says fear.
The anarthas.
Okay. Who else? Who is speaking? Annette Murphy says fear,
I
writing it
was
down. Olga, fear to lose control over our own life. Yes, that's quite possible. It can happen. It can happen unless you give it to Krishna. It's all right if you lose control if Krishna is in control. Then it's not a problem. Any other reasons why? So fear, we're afraid of surrendering. Yeah, what if I surrender? What if I lose everything? What if Krishna takes it? In South India, some people, they're afraid to worship Krishna because if I worship Krishna, he might take everything. And especially if he blows his flute, don't go. He might make you forget everything and give up everything and surrender to him. Yeah, any other reasons why? What's stopping us? Okay, fear is stopping us and false ego is stopping us. Anything else? is stopping us. Yeah. From surrendering and thinking of Krishna all the time. Nothing else? Okay. Well, also, when we chant japa, oh yeah, desire to enjoy. Very good, very good. Also, distraction, as His Holiness Sachidananda Swami says, we have the weapon of distraction. It's the cell phone. Distraction that can stop us from thinking of Krishna in our daily life. Or indifference or laziness. These are some of the obstacles to surrender. Okay, so what to do about this?
Maybe
Well,
sometimes
here, and that
I mean,
says,
we
let
are
go and let go
conditioned
is what the Christians
souls, so
say.
we want
Okay, very good.
to
Very good.
enjoy
Grishma?
other things. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I was saying that maybe I mean, since we are conditioned souls, maybe we want to enjoy separately from Krishna. We want to have sense enjoyment in other things.
Okay, I really couldn't hear what you were saying. If you write it,
Okay,
it's
I'll
better.
write in the. I'll
Yeah,
write
write it
down.
down. I couldn't hear it properly. Okay. Yes. Now in the 6th canto, 4th chapter, 27-28, Prabhupada says, a pure devotee can see Krishna despite many material impediments, which are just his energies. They're all Krishna's energies. So he can go easily through his impediments and comes directly in contact with Krishna because they're just his energies. So when you're eager to see Krishna, then you pray, Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam, that, oh, son of Maharaj Nanda. Okay, Grishma is saying tendency to enjoy other things by our senses. Yes, it's very true. Yes, we want to enjoy. That's one of the things, the problems that we have in our heart, that we have this desire to enjoy. Yes, so we should, Lord Chaitanya prays, please pick me up and place me as an atom of dust at your lotus feet. Okay, so here's a nice prayer you can say. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 14, verse 1. Katanchana smite yasmin duskaram skaram bhavev smite paritam sa si Chaitanya namamitam. Things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To this Lord Chaitanya, I offer my respectful obeisances. So if you have some difficult thing to do, you can remember Lord Chaitanya and ask him for help. And he can remove the obstacles for you. And so this is really good. Now we're going to go to verse 20. Tata paramhansanam muninam amalatmanam bhaktiya gavitanatam katam bhashemahi striyaha. Translation. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service onto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators. You are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? Okay. So Kunti is comparing herself and her qualifications with the great mystics and gyanis. She says, there's no comparison. You are coming for them. But Prabhupada, in his lecture on this verse, he said, fact is, Krishna is coming for devotees like Kunti. Here is an authority, Kunti. Prabhupada says, she's an authority. She's not ordinary. Krishna came to offer his respect, to take the dust of her feet before going to Dwaraka. So it wasn't that Kunti went to Krishna to offer prayers. Krishna went to Kunti to get her blessings to go on his trip. And do you think she's going to give her blessings? No, she's not. So she's saying, don't go, which is not auspicious if you're going on. Yeah, and my last trip, I was supposed to go to Nepal. And the day before I was supposed to go, everyone here was telling me don't go. They were showing me all the video clips of the riots in Nepal. And I was ready to go. The devotees wanted me to come. Then at the last minute, they canceled. Like a few hours before I was supposed to leave for my flight. But anyway, as it turned out, all the airports were closed, so I couldn't have gone anyway. But yeah, if you tell someone's going on a trip and you tell them don't go, that means that's inauspicious for their trip. So better don't do that. Okay, so great yogis and sannyasis, they go to the forest or to the bottom of Jamuna, like Shelbury Muni, to avoid bad association and perform great austerities, just to get a glimpse of the toes of lotus feet of Krishna. But Queen Kunti used to have Krishna as a guest in her house. So the sages, although they never went to Grihasta's house, they're in the Himalayas or the forest. They used to go visit Kunti so they could see Krishna. Yes, they gave up their meditation. So yes, in Bhagavatam Canto 3, it says, what can you say about the house of the Pandavas? Krishna acted as your minister. He used to enter that house as if it were his own. He didn't take any care of the Yodhan's house. So the Pandavas' house, Kunti's house, was a holy dham because Krishna was always there. Although Krishna descended to benefit the sages, his real reason to come was to please devotees like Queen Kunti. But Kunti was so humble. She says, no, I'm just a woman. But Prabhupada said, no, she's an aunt of Krishna. And so she's very special. And Krishna came to get her blessings. So humility is so kind. At the end of the purport, humility is important. It says, the Lord is so kind, he doesn't show special favor only to one who is a great philosopher. He knows the sincerity of purpose. So that's important. Prabhupada wrote a letter to me that 3 things are important when you do your service: enthusiasm, sincerity, and cooperation. So, and then Prabhupada says that that's why women generally assemble in great number in any sort of religious function. So that appears in every country, in every sect of religion, appears women are more interested than the men. Is this simplicity of acceptance of the Lord's authority? So Kunti is giving us the example of humility. And in the 6th canto, Prabhupada says in one purport that unless one is meek and humble, one cannot qualify to sit at the lotus feet of the Lord. So let us go to verse 21. Very beautiful verse, full of Krishna's names. Krishnaya for my respectful obeisance unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, pleasure of Devaki, boy of Nanda, and other cowherd men of Vrindavan, and enlivener of the cows and the senses. So Kunti is glorifying the holy names. So I'm gonna, I want to open this up and you can write me an answer. Everyone tell me, what is your favorite name of Krishna? You can just write it in the comments. What is your favorite name of Krishna? Yeah, I see. Yeah. Govinda from Annette. Aditya Varna. Damodar, Olga. Yeah, it's coming, his time now. And Kartik. Sham, Aditya Varna. Keshava. Oh, yeah. Beautiful hair. Yes. So we all have our favorite names of Krishna. Yeah. And so Gopinath, yes, Gopinath. Yeah, I favor Govinda too, since I worship, that was my first deities that I worshipped. in the temple. So yeah, we have so many beautiful names of Krishna. And that's what this verse is saying. Kunti is glorifying Krishna, Purusha, Prakriti, Pram. And so how do we know? How do we know it's Krishna she's talking about? So Prabhupada analyzes the verse. He says, Krishnaya Vasudevaya. He's the son of Devaki and Vasudev. That's how. Krishnaya Vasudevaya. Because she wants to make sure everyone knows which Krishna she is talking about. There's so many Krishnas. So she says, I'm offering my worship to Vasudevaya. There's many Vasudevas. So let's see. Let's go back to the verse in the Sanskrit. It says, Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Okay, there you go. Son of Devaki and Vasudev. Yeah. Then she says, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. Yeah, it's the one. He's also the foster son of Nanda. So 3 times she's showing, here is Krishna, here is Krishna, here is Krishna. Just like when I first came to Vrindavan in 1993, there were 3 Narayanis. So I was the Narayani from USA, mother of Govinda. There was another Narayani from Spain, and I forgot what her son's name. And there was another Narayani from Philippines, and her son was also Govinda. That was very confusing. And my Govinda and her Govinda were together in the Gurukul. They were in the same class. And so very, very confusing. So Kunti wants to make sure you know which Krishna she's talking about. And he's also Govinda. She said he's Govindaya. That's Govinda means full of bliss. By nature, full of bliss. He's always happy. And whoever associates with him is also happy. So he's known as Govinda, because go means the senses, not only cow. Of course, he's pleasure to the cow. He's also pleasure to our senses. Go means our senses. And so we're looking for sense gratification, but if we associate with Krishna, then we'll have so much enjoyment, sense gratification with Krishna, but not gross, spiritual. It'll be the best kind. It's eternal. So we have to associate with Govinda. And yes, he's Govinda Mari Purusham Tamaham Pajami. He's that Govinda. Yes, we just have to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Like when Prabhupada was in India, and Saraswati, 3 years old, she used to go to people and just pull on their chatters and say, guess what? And they would say, what? And she would say, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, okay. And so, yeah, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Krishnaya means source of all avatars, then Vasudevaya, Kunti's brother. Devaki Nandaya, in Devaki's womb. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya, about his Kumara pastimes, the sweetness, and Govinda, beginning of Kaisha age. So it was referring to these different things. So now we will go to the last verse, verse 22 of Queen Kunti's verses for today. Nama Pankachanabhaya, Nama Pankachamaline, Nama Pankachanetraya, Namaste Pankajam Praya. My respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as cool as the lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses. Yeah, right now, yeah, I'm feeling a bit hot in my room. The temperature is 32 degrees and centigrade. And I was thinking, I just read this, his glance is as cool as the lotus. Yeah, I would like to get his glance right now so I could feel cool as a lotus. Anyway, so 4 times she's saying Nama. And a very, one of translation I heard from Satchidananda Swami is not me, not ma, not ma, me, not me, you, Krishna. So after explaining who Krishna is, she's describing his beautiful form, how to meditate on him. The name, now the form. So at the end of the purport, Prabhupada says, one should begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet, gradually rising to the thighs, waist, chest, and face. One should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. So what can we say about Krishna's lotus feet? Kapila Dev in 328 says, you should first concentrate your mind on Krishna's lotus feet, adorned with marks of thunderbolt, gold, banner, and lotus. Something fell down here. Don't know what. What fell? Okay. We won't worry. The splendor of their beautiful ruby nails resembles the orbit of the moon and dispels the thick gloom of one's heart. Well, if you have a gloomy heart, you got to put Krishna's lotus feet there, and they will take out the gloom. His feet are like thunderbolts, shattering the mountain of sin stored in the mind of the meditating devotee. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time. So meditate on the marks of Krishna's lotus feet. That's really nice. And another verse in 10th canto, 14th chapter, his feet are compared to a boat. A lotus petal is like a small boat. And if you take shelter of the petal belt of his feet, this ocean of birth and death becomes as insignificant as the water in the hoofprint of a calf. So Nama Pankashanabhaya, his navel. His navel is like a lotus, and from his navel grew the lotus where Lord Brahma sits, and we are inside that lotus stem of his, from his navel. Now, Pankachamaline, there is a lotus, a garland of lotuses, and he's not the source of only one such flower. He's got a garland of universes. He's got a garland of lotuses, unlimited, innumerable universes. So, Nama Pankashanetraya, his eyes, and Kapila Dev, 3rd canto, 28th chapter says, the yogis should contemplate with full devotion the compassionate glances frequently cast by the Lord's eyes, for they soothe the most fearful threefold agonies of his devotees. So we know also from the last 10th canto, chapter 13, which was the last chapter Prabhupada translated, verse 50, that when Krishna, you get the glance of Krishna, then you will get desires for devotional service. And if you get the smile, that's protection of those desires. So yes, if you want to find Krishna, he's everywhere. In the pages of Bhagavatam, when the pure devotee speaks, then Krishna is revealed. The Prabhupada, he spoke, he had Krishna in his heart, and he brought Krishna all over the world. And so by hearing and chanting Bhagavatam, we can find Krishna. And Prabhupada commented in his lecture on this verse, our movement is meant for training spiritual leaders, but without hearing and chanting, it's impossible to become a leader. Of course, in the material world, it's possible, but not in the spiritual world. So if you just think of this one verse about the lotus, how Krishna is like a lotus, his different bodily parts, how beautiful he is, and his creation, then you can meditate your whole life on Krishna. Okay, so I'll stop here and ask if you have any questions or comments on these verses today. Raise your hand or yes? Or write something or raise your hand. Badra is raising his hand. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, Badra.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Dandavat. You said about the Krishna's lotus when he sees with lotus eyes. Then and you said about when he smiled. Then can you repeat that again?
Yeah. So this is this is a reference from 10th canto, chapter 13, verse 50. After
Mm.
Brahma stole the calves and cowherd boys,
Mm.
he got darshan of how they were all Vishnu forms. And there was a verse which says that his smile is like the mode of his glance is like the mode of passion. It creates desires for devotional service in your heart.
Mhm.
And his smile is like the mode of goodness. It protects those spiritual desires. So you can look up that verse 10, 13, 50, 50.
Thank
And
you.
Annette says, the first prayers are by a woman. Yes, ladies first. Bhagavatam also, because we say Radha Krishna, Sitaram, it's always ladies first. So Bhagavatam follows that rule. First Kunti, it says the first big prayers in Bhagavatam are by a woman. Okay, Kalyani has her hand up. Yes, Kalyani?
I'm just wondering, Mother Narayani, what does it mean to get the glance of Krishna? What does it
What is
mean?
it?
What does
Yes.
glance of
Very good question. What does it mean to get the glance of Krishna? Well, in order to find out the answer to that question, you have to go in front of the deities and look at them and look at their eyes and see, what does it mean? So when you try that, you can get the answer. Sometimes during my day, I go to my deities and I see them glancing and I see them glancing with a lot of mercy, sometimes compassion, sometimes mercy, sometimes joy. If you are Pujari, you get it. You can get that. You understand the glance. When I was a Pujari in Calcutta, then when our temple president Gargamuni he was taking pictures of the deities, showing them and making life members just by seeing our deities. People would become life members. So one time he took a picture 1 minute, and then after 2 minutes, he took another picture. And then when he looked at those two pictures, he said, "Hey, they're different. They're looking different." I said, "Yes. Yeah, every second he's changing. He's changing every moment." Yeah. And so if that's one way to see Krishna, you just look at him, you sit there, and that is recommended by Shukadeva Goswami, Aikshata. One of our processes, which he expands, is to just go sit in front of the deity and look at the deity. And if you're too tired to chant or do anything else, just go look. And he will see you. He's the one seeing. Yes. Oh, Govinda, and that Aditya Varney said, Govinda, Inishrath has a heavy look sometimes. Okay. Well, maybe sometimes we need that heavy look too to wake us up. We have to wake up and don't become complacent in our devotional service. Yes. Sometimes he's like a thunderbolt, and sometimes he's like a rose. So that is our Krishna, our Govinda. He is like that. And so we have to be ready to accept his glance. And Prabhupada said that when you're sitting in the temple, Krishna is glancing at you. He's the actual seer. You are not the seer. He's the one seeing you. Darshan means he sees you. Of course, we see him too, but first he sees us. And that's why we can see him, because he's the actual only seer is Krishna. Aditya Varna, you have something? Aditya Varna Dasi. You're yes?
Today I'm just listening, Narayani.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so mute your microphone then. All right,
Okay,
anybody
I
else?
can do that.
You can put your hand up. See if you just do it on your screen, I may not see you. So it's good to also do it on the. Oh, there, Bhadra's got his hand up again. Okay, Bhadra. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There was a devotee in Vrindavan,
Yes,
and he was a blind,
a blind devotee in Vrindavan.
and he was going for a darshan to, I guess, to Banke Bihari, I guess.
He
I
was
don't know
going for
exactly.
darshan to Bank Bihari.
Then the other people were kind of laughing at him. He said, "You are blind, and what you don't even see the deed. You don't see the deed. You are blind. You're
So
going
other
there."
people are making fun of him.
Yes. So he said that I'm going there because Krishna is noticing that I'm coming there, and Krishna is seeing me, and that's why I'm
Oh,
coming there.
he says, Krishna is seeing me. That's why I'm going. Yeah, I can give you another story from Germany, actually, from Golokadam. There is one old lady, like over 80, in her 80s. She used to come for the Sunday feast every Sunday. And so one time she was a little late. And devotee said, "So what happened? Why are you so late today?" And she said, "The bus driver, usually he drops me in front of the temple, but this time he left me 1 kilometer away in the village. So I had to walk." And they said, "Well, how can you walk? You can hardly walk. You're crippled and you can't even see hardly. How did you go?" So she said, "Oh, it was easy. Krishna was right in front of me and I just followed him." So that's another one. She's not even an initiated devotee, but she was seeing Krishna because she just tried. She just took that step and Krishna did the rest. She tried her best. And there's a very dangerous road, big, huge lumber trucks, because it's in the forest. It used to be 1 lane, now it's 2 lanes. A very small road and big trucks coming, and she made it to the temple, 1 kilometer. Although she was blinded, mukam karati vachalam, pangu langati, I'm lame. Even though I'm lame, I'm blind, but by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, I can walk, I can climb mountains, I can see the stars. So yeah, that requires faith, of course, but it's worth it to take a risk for Krishna, to have that faith. Okay, anybody else have their hand up? I'm checking on the screen in case you don't know how to do it. Okay. I don't see
Mother
anybody.
Narayani, could I ask
Olga, okay.
something shortly? Thank you very much. It was such an elevating lecture about about Queen Kunti's prayers. Actually, I heard them for the first time. I
Oh,
was
good.
wondering
Okay.
at the beginning you said that Kunti was the incarnation of Krishna's potency of success.
Yes.
And I was wondering, how can Krishna's potencies or any expansions be devotees? Because I thought that everybody who is born as Krishna's expansions or Krishna's potency are Krishna or parts of Krishna. Like, for example, Baladev and
Right.
Subhadra, they are also expansions, no? So is it...
Well, Baladev is special. He's Vishnu. There's different kinds. There's energy expansions and there's Vishnu expansions. And there's different kinds of energy also. Yeah. So Kunti would be in the category of Shaktivesh, a very special incarnation. Just like Vyasadeva is Shaktivesh and other Narada Muni and the 4 Kumaras, they are not Vishnu, they are Jiva, but they have special potencies which Krishna has bestowed on them. So Kunti is like that. She's very special expansion of the energy of Krishna. Very special. Yeah. So Prabhupada, he explains that in his lecture. He says she's an incarnation of the success potency. Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, yeah, there's ordinary jivas, there's ordinary people, but then the devotees are special. And they are actually vibhutis. They're very special. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna lists some of those, like of the Pandavas, I'm Arjuna, of mountains, I'm Himalayas, of great warriors, thinkers, I am Brigu. Yeah, so he lists different jivas, energies, but they're very special. They have special powers. Now, Baladev, he is not an energy. He is Vishnu. So if you study Chaitanya Charitamrita, then you can understand the difference between the Vishnu incarnations and the jivas who have special powers given to them. Yeah, that requires some study. Bhagavatam lists all the Vishnu incarnations in Canto 1, Chapter 3. And then at the end it says, but Krishna is the supreme Bhagavan, from whom all the others come. Yes, so I am Bhagavan. Yeah, she's
you.
and Gita says these are vibhutis, so these are special incarnations of Krishna among the jivas, among the animals. Is a fish, I am the shark incarnation in the fish. Yeah, so it's there in the trees. I am the what is that? Ashvata banyan tree. I'm the banyan tree, and yes. So they have special potencies. Some jivas who are just ordinary living entities have special potencies. So Kunti had some special potency on her success potency, and she did. There was success. They did win the kingdom, and she was but the main success was not winning the kingdom, of course. At the end of life, she went back to Godhead. So that was the real success. I mean, people in this world, definition of success, what's the definition? Money, this, that, fame, beauty. But the real success is to go back to Godhead, to graduate out of the prison, not to become a star in the prison, a star prisoner. But this real success. So her success was to go back to Godhead at the end of life.